In the afternoon session of the first day of Transport Women Australia Limited, Driving the Difference 2022, is Kim Hassall, the Rector, National Chair, from the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, CILTA. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's great to be here.
Good to see you. Kim, what are some of the trends at the moment, and how do we hope to close the gap?
Well, a lot of people don't realise that we came about basically through an initiative in 1919, but the Chartered Institute's been in Australia since 1935. And its prime directive is the continuing professional development of people in the sector. And that necessity for that has never ever gone away. And we're seeing it very, very much now, previously with the COVID pandemic, and also with now there's supply chain blockages coming out of the Ukraine-Russian war, and also to a certain extent the COVID lockdowns of some of the very, very big ports in China as well. And so there's a lot of bottlenecks, there's a lot of queuing at the ports, there's a lack of shipping capacity basically around the world. So how you develop people's professionalism so they can actually think outside the square, keep things moving and things like this requires basically their knowledge base, their network, and how those work and what alternatives can be put in place. Now, to a certain extent, the whole professional development to be able to solve some of these very complex issues really start very early on. And as we've heard today in the sessions, that literally even the knowledge of transport logistics, even in the middle school sector, is very, very, very light on. And people associated with potentially, just being a truck driver. Now, the whole logistics and supply chain world, as people have seen that, magically things happen during COVID and the world kept on turning. But behind the scenes, boy, oh boy, is there some really, really sort of amazing stuff happening that actually kept Australia and the world moving, sort of in that. And how you actually get from that minimalist idea that sort of logistics is your truck driver up to being a global network manager and things like this are light years apart, but you've really got to start somewhere. And there's a huge lack of knowledge for starters, information, and certainly how you even get small amounts of professional development basically in that sector. And one of the things I said before is that the transport and logistics sector, both from the contract side and the non-contract side, are 14.5% of Australia's GDP, which is almost 1/7 of the GDP of Australia. And it's huge. And there is so little, shall we say, educational backing towards that, especially in the younger years. And that's one of the, I suppose, linchpins of our existence, is to actually help really get in there and help develop people right through to their end of career sort of time in their jobs.
So what do you specialise in? How do you actually do that?
Well, our educational platforms, we form partnerships with and we certify and accredit sort of university programs, TAFE college programs, short programs that are actually industry initiated. And as I'd said in the at the end of the talk in question time, that we're launching into this, we are part of, launching into this new world of potentially micro-credentials, which basically sit outside the square a bit, but industry can actually create them for niche areas for people to really get exposure as to what areas are possibly easy to get into, knowledge about particular areas, whether it's maritime, aviation, freight forwarding. Not enough is done in the educational sector on sort of international global freight forwarding. And we're an interconnected global network, as the Russian situation and the Chinese lockdowns have basically shown. And so start with small snippets, get things out there, push your, shall we say, want of training determinations basically through the partner organisations and through our own IT systems and things like this. And now, to a certain extent, one of the great initiatives that happened because of the pandemics are the Zooms, the WebExes, and the sort of the Teams, and even the Google platform itself, have actually been a wonder in actually getting people connected, so that actually can really understand small micro elements basically of the supply chain, and hopefully they take those knowledges basically further, do more work, and actually say this is a really, really big sector
Yep.
with lots of dimensions, and it's a tremendous career path.
That's it. Sure is. Well, thank you, Kim.
That's all right. It's
In a
pleasure.
nutshell, that's very well explained. So thank you.
Hopefully it will get some traction. So,
Hopefully that's what we're
great.
here
And,
for
good luck
today.
for the rest of the conference.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Lovely to see
Bye.
you. Bye.